CoCo Johnson, your Lady of Wellness. Join me as I address topics in all things wellness, from mental health, social disparities, and education, advocating for those who suffer in silence. Hi, I'm CoCo Johnson, your Lady of Wellness. Join me as I address topics in all things wellness, from mental health, social disparities, and education, advocating for those who suffer in silence. Brought to you today by Rosa Share All Naturals, changing lives one tablespoon at a time. Today in studio we have our special guest, the fitness guru, Randi Alexander. Hi, Randi.
Hey, I'm so happy to be here. How are you doing today?
I'm well. I'm glad to have you.
Yes,
I'm glad you
I'm
can make
excited.
it.
Yes.
So tell the audience about yourself.
So my name is Randi Alexander, and I own a business called Nycole Naturals. And Nycole Naturals is based in Indianapolis, Indiana. And I provide holistic products and services to women on their wellness journey. And my plant-based body care products. And then I also provide yoga services, mobility, doula, stretching, things like that.
Wow, that's a lot. So let's talk about some of the things that you mentioned here. So you have a product-based business,
Yes.
and you have a service-based business. The product-based business deals with skincare. What type of skincare?
I have a face care kit, so it's a face wash, a toner, a moisturizer, and a serum. And then I also have body butters and body oils. And then I also make pain oil and pain balms. And then one of the things that I have that's popular is a nasal inhaler. So you unscrew it and you sniff it, and each one has a theme. So there's one for relaxation, one for focus, and one for like tension and headaches and things like that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about your service.
Yeah.
So you teach yoga.
Yes.
And you teach yoga on different levels, different playing grounds. Give us an idea what that means.
Yeah, so I teach prenatal. Well, I have a couple different things. So I am prenatal yoga certified, and then I am something called Y12SR certified, and then I have my Hatha yoga, so my regular yoga certification. And I got my yoga certification in 2019. So at first I was just teaching like restorative yoga, gentle yoga, things of that nature. And then I started taking the Y12SR classes. And Y12SR is yoga of the 12-step recovery. So we have a recovery meeting, and then it's followed by a yoga class. So so those are my services. And then my goal is to provide services to the community. So I partner with local organizations so that the yoga can be free to the community. So I try to do beginner friendly, and I like to call it more mindful movement, because it's more about you being in your body in the present moment. Not necessarily about the poses, but I will guide you through the poses.
Nice.
Yeah.
So take me back. So what made you interested in doing the yoga and getting all these certifications?
Yeah, well, it started I'm always somebody who likes certifications. But in 2017, I was really sick. I had fibromyalgia, and I had rheumatoid arthritis, and I was in my late 20s. So I was at the point where I was about to file for disability my 20s. And I was like, well, if I can assist myself, then I would like to try, whatever that means for me. And I met this lady. I was volunteering at a vendor event. And the way we met, it was so interesting. She was on the floor, and I was just like, hey, you want to get up off the floor? Like, you don't want to get your clothes dirty, like that type of thing. And she was like, oh, no, I'm stretching and I'm doing yoga. And I was like, okay, cool, and then I walked off. But she kept pursuing me that day. And at first, I thought it was so odd, but it was just like divine. Like, she just knew that I needed that, and I didn't know that I needed that. I figured I'm hurting, I'm in pain, and I can't move. But that's not really the case. We have to meet our bodies where it's at. And that's what made me fall in love with yoga, because when I started yoga, I was, like I said, about to file for disability. I've already had multiple knee surgery, so I didn't really think I could really get up and down, because you don't feel like you can get up and down and move. But that's not necessarily true. I just had to move to what felt good in my body. And the thing that I love about yoga so much is that it gave me body awareness. I was not present in my body. I was mad at being sick, mad at being mad, you know what I'm saying? Like, mad at life. But yoga taught me body awareness, and that our emotions store in our muscles. And moving and doing yoga, stretching, things like that. Those are ways to address it, and then also transmute that energy, because all our emotions are, their energy and motion, and what we don't express, it kind of just sticks in our muscles. And I learned it kind of from that perspective, and then it just changed my mind.
So wait, so you were going through a life experience like most of us, and instead of like doing the traditional way, going to physical therapy, going to get the medication, going to different, the normal, what we've been taught to do, as far as, and nothing's wrong with that, but you thought about an alternative way of turning your pain into purpose?
But only because I was the person on meds. I was on 10 meds a day before I started my wellness journey. Wow. I had already had 3 knee surgeries. I had already been to PT, maxed out my insurance, all of those things. I experienced all those things before. So it was kind of my wit's end for me. But being in pain and being constantly, receiving medical attention, nobody ever told me I could heal myself. And that's what it took for somebody to be like, hey, you can really heal yourself. And I was like, well, I'll try these tools, and if they work, bet. But if they don't, I'm gonna go back to my doctor. But they just happened to really change my life, for me to just start looking at my life in a more holistic and a mindful approach.
So we both know that everybody is made up differently. So, and when I say that, so when you started on this journey, and it was because of life-changing experiences, you decided to take matters in your own hand by the persuasion of someone else coming in. How would you say, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much at that time when you first started, how much did you see an improvement?
My first class, and wow. I'm not even lying, I just didn't think I could move. I was so just rigid in my body that I did not think that I could do any of those poses. I was still smoking cigarettes then, so I was chain smoking Newports, and I was like, I can't do that. They're in here tripping. But after my first class, I had muscle tension like you have after you work out, but the release that I felt, I was like, oh, I gotta keep doing this. And that she was on to something, right? But no, yeah, I felt different after the first class.
So were you in the product business already when you incorporated the services, or all of that went hand in hand?
I started yoga first. Okay. So I started yoga in 2017. I got my certification in 2019, and I have been teaching all the way up until I started my products in 2021. Yeah. So I was talking about that a little bit. So having chronic illness, I got into a holistic lifestyle, but a lot of my favorite products, I realized, were still causing my symptoms, because the skin is the largest organ of the body, and what we put on our body really does affect us. Yes. So I was losing weight and all these other things, but I still wasn't feeling good, and I was like, something is missing. I was eating clean, and then I was like, oh, I need to be mindful of what I put on my body. So I like making things anyway, so I just started creating my own products for myself, for my friends, for my mom, my siblings, hey, just try this, see if you like this, this is doing really good. And then also, when I switched my whole lifestyle around, I had ended up getting very bad adult acne, and I never really broke out before. So that's what made me start making my skincare, because I started making a serum, and it really did help reduce the scarring of the adult acne that I was getting. And then it was just because my body was cleansing itself. Yeah.
Nice. That's interesting. Yeah. So when you go out and you face the community, so you have different trainings for different people in different type of circumstances. So tell us more about the recovery portion of the yoga that you teach.
Yeah, so that was a certification. Like I said, it's called Y12SR, Yoga of 12-Step Recovery. And it is actually a lady from Indianapolis who started Y12SR. Her name is Nikki Myers, and she is a melanated woman from Indianapolis. And so we did an intensive training, but before I even took the training, I went to the meetings for 2 years. I wasn't struggling with substance addiction, but my father was in recovery when I was young, and I had been around addicts. And then once I started going to the classes, I realized that it's not just about substances. We all are addicted to certain things, and it affects our behavior. So I was like, I'm very interested in this from a personal level, but then also just from a level of this is deeper than, I took it on a very, I can't even talk. like just a basic level. I was like, that doesn't pertain to me. I don't do drugs. And I was like, no. You have your own addictive behaviors as well. So it took for me, like, you could get a certification, and I love certifications, but also I like to do it on myself first. Like, I took the meetings for 2 years. I used my own skincare on myself for years. I practiced yoga for 3 years before I even decided to teach, you know. So, yeah, I went and got a certification, and I've been teaching it for 3 years now, or, yeah.
So when you say addicts and, like, how do you approach the situation? So you go to a community center that has
so for the Y12SR meetings, it is up to the space holder. So you can do it at a recovery center. So I teach at City Yoga off of 25th and Central, and we come into the studio. It's just like a regular studio setup, but when we go into the room, we sit in a circle and we talk for an hour. We have our prompts, and I read the 12 steps and all that. And then we have an open discussion. So it's whatever you care to share. And I also let people know, even if you don't share, you're sharing space being there with us. So that's still a part of it. And I really like it because it allows us to be vulnerable and transparent. And then also know that we're all struggling from something. And we all struggle with the same emotions. It just displays differently in our lives. Yes. And I like that because it gives us a moment to just even talk about it. Or be like, hey, I was experiencing that. And you may not even want to say it out loud. But you know that somebody else is experiencing what you're experiencing. And then after we do that, then we have a yoga session. And you can either do it either way, but I like it that way because it gives you a moment to relax. And you may have been holding on to something, and then it may have made your practice even tighter, but I feel like being able to talk beforehand allows you to relax a little bit more and be in your body. And then also, like I said, another way to transmute the energy in your body.
A lot of us carry a lot of tension in our bodies, not even knowing that like for me, I carry it and not even know I'm doing it. And so when you do these classes at City Yoga, what's the demographic? So do you have men, you have women, you have...
For the recovery classes?
Yes.
Oh, it's as long as age 18 and up. So it's men, women, white, black, older, younger. It's wherever you are in your recovery journey, or even if you're just new to recovery. Yeah.
Okay, so you talk about also that you do yoga in other places. I know that you do it at Indy's Winter Market. And are they two different types? Of course, you guys were talking in the other style of yoga. But in this one, is there a different vibe? Is it a different set of people?
I feel like it's always different people. And that's what I like about community-based, because it's just kind of like whoever comes. You have your regulars, but... it's a mix of everybody. Like today, I had a bunch of different women in the ages range. You know, I had somebody, I think the oldest was like 60 years old. You know, so it really just it depends. But for me, I teach yoga, I don't want to say on a basic level, but more about your body. Like, it's not about me talking, it's about, hey, how do you feel? If that doesn't feel good to you, let's try this pose or let's try that. So it's not set to a certain person, whether you're an experienced yogi or you're like, I don't even know what yoga is. You know, it's for everybody. And that's what it's about. It's about you building up yourself, your body, and, you know, getting body awareness. Yeah.
So I think about what you said about that, and thinking about basic level. So say that someone off the street, they hear it on TV, they see, you know, now there's all kinds of yoga, right? Yeah. So there's like goat yoga I've seen, hot steam yoga. Yeah. There's so many types of yoga that's popping up now. If someone wants to join yoga for your class for the very first time, but they're unsure, what is some of the things that you can explain to them on a really basic level of what yoga actually is, other than, you know, most people see the people stretching, they know some of the terms, but if someone just brand new is like trying to get to understand it, so they were thinking about it but they just weren't quite sure, how do you direct them?
I always turn it back to you. So it's a personal thing. So I always say, like, it's about you and your body. So it's not about who's the most flexible or anything. But what I always tell people first class, and I can tell when somebody's coming to the first class, because it's kind of like, oh, what's going on? But I say, breathe and be in your body. And if it feels safe and comfortable to you, you can close your eyes every now and then so you can see what it feels like to be in your body. And you can look at me, but I wouldn't recommend you looking at everybody else because you may see something and it does not resonate in your body. So more of just focusing on yourself.
Okay.
That's my main recommendation. And then just using your breath, because if we're focused on our breath, then you're focused on the present moment. So you can't worry about if Susie doing a cartwheel or not, because I'm going to do with you. So that's why I just do it more like that. Like, let's take some deep breaths together and just be in your body. And then people be like, I ain't never done yoga. But if you raise your hands up over your head and you fold down, babe, you just did yoga. So I tell people, like, you're still moving. So that's the thing. It's not about how pretty the pose is. It's about how you feel and that you're not injuring yourself trying to do something that your body doesn't like.
Right.
Yeah.
So, for those that can't necessarily get to a class, say that they're at work or at home, is there some simple yoga that we can try to do at home on our own that will get our bodies moving to help motivate us more? I think about so many friends that have either not understood their bodies. They went and did something quick, fast, in a hurry kind of deal, microwave situation, and the weight came back and now they can't move. Is there something that you can do to get yourself started at home in order to motivate you and push you to go further?
Well, I recommend you starting at home, period. And I was just telling somebody this today in the class that I taught today. We think that, I need to carve out an hour and I need to carve out. No, you're in your bed. You can do yoga in your bed. You can fold over in your bed. You can bring your knees to your chest. You can twist from right to left. That's still the yoga. So I'm like, let's start there. Like, you have to get in your bed to go to sleep. And you have to get out the bed to wake up. So if you just utilize what we have in that present moment, that works too. If you're in a chair, you can do a twist in a chair. You can do a fold in a chair. So just wherever you're at, just moving your body. Yeah, that's what Because, it's like, I don't got the time. It's like, you in your bed, baby. Like, you can still.
So what's a good recommended time? Like, what would you say someone starting off?
5-10 minutes. You can,
So is there anything that you can show the cameras, like, quickly?
Yeah. So you sit up. Make sure you sit up nice and tall. Okay. And we can do it. So you can put your hands on your knees, and then on an inhale, you're gonna bring yourself forward, so chin comes up. And on your exhale, you're gonna tuck your chin into your chest, rounding your back. So doing this, you're getting spinal flexion already. So this is called cat and cow, and usually you do this on your hands and your knees. And then you can pause and just feel how that feels with the chin into the chest. And you stretch it. Then we'll come up. You can bring your arms up over your head. Interlace your fingers. You can press them up. And then you can tip to one side. And what you're doing, you're stretching out your side body. So, you come back. You take it to the other side.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I needed you earlier.
Right. Hands come down. And then you can even twist. So, like, taking yourself to the other side. Yep. That gets you good, too. And then we twist to the other side because you want to do everything on both sides to even out the body, even though our body is different on each side. Yeah.
Right.
Then you can shrug your shoulders up and roll them back down. Yep. Shake them out. You can even bring your hands to your wrist because we do a lot of stuff with our hands and our wrists. And rotate your hands around. You'll feel your fingers and hands starting to kind of snap and pop. But that's just stretching out your hands. Yeah. Yep.
Oh, wow. I just feel a little better.
Yeah.
Like I said, I needed you earlier. But that was good. And that's something simple that anybody can do from any chair at any moment. And so doing that kind of things, I can kind of feel like a little release happening here with me. But I used to do yoga a long time ago. But again, like you said, got to carve out an hour, got to carve out this and trying to get it to work in a schedule. And sometimes not understanding, because we always think that we got to either jump on a bike or a cardio machine or lift a weight in order to get what our bodies need, and that's not always the case. So I love the idea of the alternative method, and especially if it's not something that requires any money, not that much time.
Yeah.
And you can do it from anywhere. That's cool. Do you have any idea for your legs, like someone like can do with their legs?
I'm trying to think from where we're seated, but you can always bring your knee. Well, I don't know, seated up here, but if you're sitting down on the floor, you can always bring your knee in.
Okay.
You can open your legs so that they're kind of like at a butterfly, so that opens up your hips. You can do like toe touches and things like that, but when you're straight out, because it'll stretch out calves, hamstrings, things like that. But just from where we're seated, I'm like, what can we really do?
I get it.
And
we're gonna have pictures on.
Too.
Yeah, we're gonna have some.
Because you could do stuff like this in your chair, and then you open up your hip flexor, calf, quad. So it's so many different type of
Oh, that's cool. So I've even seen people get against the wall.
Oh, that's my favorite.
Yeah.
Because it supports you and it'll support your spine. So if you're having low back pain, even though you're sitting up, it may not feel good to sit up. So I'm saying use everything. So you can use your back, sit up nice and tall on the wall.
So what's going through, besides opening up some muscle tension, what else could be possibly happening while you're doing some of these poses?
Reducing tension, reducing stress, bringing awareness to your body. It's so many different things.
Now we talk about breathing all the time. People tell me, I was just told breathe because I hold the tension. So when you tell people about breathing, is there a count or?
This is what I say. So we'll do a exhale together, and then we'll do, on the inhale, you're going to raise the belly up. So starting to breathe through your belly. And then your chest. And then on your exhale, you let it all out. So most of us, we breathe from up here. And when you breathe up here through your chest, you're in fight or flight mode and you're in panic. But once you breathe from your belly, it's diaphragmatic breathing, and then it allows you to relax more. So I'm just starting with that, like, and then taking audible exhales. Like sometimes we are really just holding our breath and just sigh it out. That even, I feel calmer anytime I'm just like.
That's cool. And that's great to know, because like I'm always talking about generational kind of deals. And at one point, some of us were taught by sighing that that's kind of rude.
Big facts. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. So, but in this day and age, most of us are fighting for wellness, and we keep hearing it and trying to understand and gravitate how we fit into that mix and how we can make it work, because we got social media, we always see people doing certain things, and we always question it. How come we can? How come we could? How can I do da da da? So knowing that, what's a count as far as a breath, what's like, how does someone start that doesn't like the normal person be like, okay, I'm breathing. You know? So I'm good. But no, it's a technique to it. And so can you kind of talk about that?
We'll do two, so you can do a box breath. So on an inhale, you'll breathe in for 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you hold your inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you exhale it all the way out for 4. Then you pause for 4. And then you start it back up. So that gives you more of a slow, controlled breathing. And then also, you want your exhale to be longer than your inhale after you've gotten the rhythm of the breath, so that you can cue your body to relaxation. And then with nostril breathing, a good cue is, so you're inhaling and exhaling through your nostrils. But you'll sense cool air on your nostrils as your belly rises. And on your exhale, you'll sense warm air as the belly sinks and softens.
Nice. Okay, so I know that water takes place somewhere in here. So what do you recommend as far as water? I know we're supposed to drink it. That's given. But as far as someone that likes sugary drinks, or how would water enhance our experience with yoga?
Well, you need to stay hydrated in order for your muscles to relax, your body, to be lubricated or whatever. But if somebody's on sugary drinks, I'll speak from my own personal experience. Like, I was a junk food queen before I started my wellness journey. Like, Mountain Dews, sugary drinks. So if you don't like water, put fruit in your water and kind of, like, mash it a little bit at the bottom. You can put lemons in your water, limes, but just kind of make sure you have water on you. I was going to bring my giant jar, but I always have water on me. So just keeping yourself hydrated, and there's really no wrong or right way to do it, but you have to do it. You got to drink the water, and you can put lemons, like I said, ginger, limes, or fruit if you're struggling with sugary things, because it'll still give you that.
Cool. So the last thing I want to ask is, as far as with the water and your muscle tensions, how does one just, say that they're watching us and they're like, okay, I want to understand and I want to know. Do you have like a website, or do you have like, more of resources? Can you give us first of all, give us 3 tips to start with, real basic tips. I'm new, I'm fresh to it. I'm hearing you talking about the yoga. How can I get set up? I've never done it before.
Deep breaths. So do your 3 deep breaths. That's my first recommendation for anything. Just sitting there, get nice and tall in your spine, shoulder blades down your back, and you take you 3 deep breaths. You inhale, you exhale, and do that 3 times, because there's so much going on in our lives. And if you're like, well, I want to do this yoga, but I really got to do the dishes or something like that, just taking a moment to center yourself in whatever you're about to do, whether it's yoga or anything, I feel like that's key. And then knowing that you got to be in your body and in the present moment, and knowing that each day your body will feel different, but honoring that and honoring our bodies, because our body's here with us every day. Yes. And it'll feel a little bit better if we acknowledge it and move it.
Let me ask you this question. Is one yoga better than the others? Because we just said it's tons of them out here.
I'm going to say no, because once again, it's about you and your personal experience.
Got it.
Because some people like hot yoga, some people don't. I like strenuous classes, but I like to teach gentler classes. But I'll take a hot yoga class. I'll take a power class. So it just depends on what feels good to you. There are certain things that I won't take. And it's just like finding out. There's so many different ways, but just with anything, finding out the thing that feels good to you and in your body. Because you may not like it, or you may love it and think, well, I didn't like it because I didn't think I was going to like any yoga. And now I love it.
Right. So tip number 2, what's the tip?
I thought that was all the tips.
I'm sorry if you out. I'm out.
That my main tip is really just going back to your, but I'm going to say the same thing. Because you have to be focused on yourself. And your body.
Your body is key.
Because it doesn't matter what the next person is doing if it doesn't feel good to you.
Okay, so the next question I have, is there any pain associated with after finishing yoga?
It shouldn't be, but like I was saying, I had chronic illness. So with anything that's new to your body, you're going to feel some type of ache, like a workout ache. It shouldn't be an ache where you can't get up, you can't bend down. It should be like, ooh, that's a little, like, my muscle ain't used to that. So there'll be a slight muscle tension, but that's when we get back to the water, you hydrate yourself back up.
Nice. Okay. And so tell the people where they can find you, where they can find all your awesome products and your services. And you also mentioned that you're a doula, and you got a lot of things under your belt there.
Yeah, because my goal is to be a holistic caregiver within the community. I've always worked in healthcare and things like that. So that's just my goal, to provide holistic products and services to people on their wellness journey. So my website is www.iambeaststudios.net. And then I'm also on Facebook and Instagram, and it's Naima Naturals, all together on Instagram with an _. And then you can always email me at randia@naimanaturals.net. I teach at City Yoga on Sundays, 6:30 for Y12SR. Once a month, I am at the Indy Winter Farmers Market until the end of April for yoga on Saturdays from 11 to 12. And then I also post on my social media, email, newsletters, and things like that.
Oh, that's awesome. So you're a little bit of everywhere. Where are your products sold? They're online?
Online on my website, and then I also vend at the Indy Winter Farmers Market and local vendor spaces around the city.
All right. Yeah. Well, it was great having you today.
Yes, thank you.
And learning all about the wonderful things about yoga. I had an idea, but you just incite me. As a matter of fact, it makes me want to go do some right now. I felt a little bit better after doing those little small exercises.
Wonderful.
But you can all find Randi around Indy. She's usually where I'm at, usually she's at. So we both specialize in natural care products. And also, we want to just highlight the emphasis on your wellness counts. And doing small things to grow into bigger things helps. So we want to also thank you, and we want to bring in our sponsors, Rosa Sharon All Naturals. We're changing lives at one tablespoon at a time. And join us on our next show. And you can always subscribe to us check out the link below where you can subscribe to this show, and also follow Randi. And we just want to close out on thank you for being here today with us. Until our next show, thank you, Randi, for being here.
Thank you.